Beneath the vast expanse of the blue Egyptian sky lies a landscape that has captivated humanity for millennia. The golden sands of time conceal secrets as old as civilization itself, whispering tales of grandeur, innovation, and mystique. The allure of ancient Egypt is not just in its monumental structures, like the towering pyramids of Giza or the stately temples of Luxor, it lies in the profound mysteries that these stone giants embody. Each grain of sand holds echoes of a civilization that flourished along the banks of the Nile, a river that not only sustained life but also nurtured a culture that would leave an indelible mark on the world. The story of ancient Egypt begins over 5,000 years ago, a time when the world was still young, and humanity was just beginning to carve out its place in the annals of history. This was a land where pharaohs ruled as gods on earth, where artisans crafted intricate works of art, and where scribes recorded the chronicles of their time in a script that remains one of the most fascinating enigmas of our past. The pyramids, with their perfect geometry, stand as monumental testaments to human ingenuity, constructed with such precision that they have withstood the ravages of time and nature. They are not merely tombs but also cosmic statements, aligned with celestial bodies that shaped the very beliefs of the ancient Egyptians. As we stand before these colossal edifices, it's impossible not to feel the weight of history resting upon our shoulders. The Great Pyramid of Giza, the largest of them all, was completed around 2560 BCE, a feat that would seem insurmountable even with today's technology. Made up of an estimated 2.3 million blocks of limestone and granite, each weighing several tons, it served as a final resting place for Pharaoh Khufu, who was believed to ascend to the heavens after death. Yet, the question remains, how did the ancient Egyptians accomplish such a monumental task? The methods used to transport and assemble these massive stones have baffled historians and archaeologists alike, sparking theories that range from sophisticated pulleys to sheer brute force. The allure of ancient Egypt is also steeped in its rich tapestry of mythology and religion. The Nile, the lifeblood of the civilization, was worshipped as a deity, its annual floods regarded as sacred events that brought fertility to the land. Temples dedicated to gods like Osiris and Isis punctuated the landscape, serving as centers of worship and community. These structures, adorned with vivid hieroglyphs and carvings, depicted the divine connection between the gods and the pharaohs, who were believed to be the intermediaries between the earthly realm and the divine. The very air seems thick with the presence of these ancient beliefs, a haunting reminder of a world where the supernatural intertwined seamlessly with daily life. Yet, for all its wonders, ancient Egypt remains shrouded in mystery. The hieroglyphs that adorn its monuments tell stories of gods, kings, and the afterlife, but they also conceal knowledge that has yet to be fully deciphered. The language, a complex system of symbols, evokes a sense of awe and curiosity. What secrets lie within those carved inscriptions? What wisdom did the ancients seek to pass down through generations? These questions linger like shadows, inviting both scholars and casual observers to unravel the intricacies of a civilization that thrived for over 3,000 years. As we traverse the sands of time, we find that the fascination with ancient Egypt extends beyond its historical context. It has woven itself into the fabric of modern culture, inspiring artists, writers, and filmmakers. The images of pharaohs, pyramids, and the Sphinx have permeated our collective imagination, shaping how we view not only this ancient civilization but also our own existence. The mysteries of ancient Egypt continue to resonate, reminding us that there is much to learn from the past. Exploring the ruins of this ancient wonderland is not merely an archaeological endeavor, it is a journey into the depths of human aspiration and achievement. The remnants of temples and tombs invite us to reflect on the ambitions and dreams of a people who sought to transcend mortality through monumental architecture. These structures serve as both grave markers and beacons of light, illuminating the path of human history. As the sun sets over the desert horizon, casting long shadows across the sands, one can almost hear the whispers of those who walked this land thousands of years ago. They remind us that the stories of ancient Egypt are not just tales of the past, they are lessons for the present and the future. Each stone, each inscription, each artifact tells us something about who we are and where we come from. In the heart of this ancient civilization lies a legacy that continues to shape our world. The enigmatic sands of time hold more than the remnants of a bygone era, they cradle the enduring influence of a culture that dared to dream, build, and believe in the eternal. In every grain of sand, every weathered stone, and every whisper of the wind, the echoes of ancient Egypt beckon us to uncover their secrets, to understand their impact, and to recognize the threads that connect us across the millennia. The journey into the lost wonders of ancient Egypt has only just begun. Emerging from the mists of time, ancient Egypt was born from the confluence of fertile lands and industrious communities along the banks of the Nile. This majestic river, often referred to as the lifeblood of civilization, nourished the earth and its people, allowing agriculture to flourish in a landscape otherwise dominated by arid desert. The annual floods of the Nile, predictable and bountiful, provided the perfect foundation for a society to grow, cultivating a rich tapestry of culture, innovation, and belief. As the dawn of the 4th millennium BCE approached, disparate tribes and settlements began to unite in purpose and ambition. It was a time of evolving identities and shared destinies, where local chieftains forged alliances and sought dominance over their neighbors. The rise of powerful leaders in Upper and Lower Egypt signaled the first steps toward a profound transformation. Among these leaders, one figure would emerge to change the course of history forever: Narmer. Around 3100 BCE, Narmer, also known as Menz, would become the first pharaoh of a unified Egypt. He was not just a ruler, he was a visionary who recognized the strength that lay in unity. By bringing together the previously fragmented regions of Upper and Lower Egypt, Narmer set a precedent that would resonate through the ages. The legendary Narmer palette, a ceremonial artifact adorned with intricate reliefs, captures this pivotal moment, depicting Narmer wearing the white crown of Upper Egypt while subduing his foes from the north, adorned in the red crown of Lower Egypt. This imagery reflects not only military might but also the synthesis of two distinct cultures into a singular national identity. Narmer's reign marked the inception of the early dynastic period, a time when Egypt began to embrace central authority, organized governance, and monumental architecture. As the first pharaoh, he laid the groundwork for a centralized state, establishing a capital at Memphis, strategically located at the apex of the Nile Delta. This city would flourish as a political, cultural, and religious heart of Egypt, symbolizing the unity that Narmer had forged. With unification came innovation. The Egyptians developed a system of writing known as hieroglyphics, allowing for the documentation of their history, religious texts, and administrative records. This written language was not merely functional, it was an art form, combining symbols and pictorial representations that conveyed profound meanings. It became a tool for communicating divine will, royal decrees, and the intricacies of daily life, and its influence would echo for centuries. Religion flourished alongside governance, intertwining with the very fabric of Egyptian society. The pharaoh was viewed not just as a ruler but as a divine intermediary between gods and mortals. This belief established a unifying force, forging a collective identity steeped in spirituality. Temples dedicated to deities such as Osiris, Isis, and Ra sprang up, becoming centers of worship and community life. The reverence for the gods shaped every aspect of existence, instilling a sense of purpose and continuity that transcended the individual. As Egypt solidified its foundations, the advancements in agriculture supported an ever-growing population. Crop surpluses enabled specialization in various trades and crafts, leading to the emergence of skilled artisans, merchants, and builders. The people of Egypt were not merely subjects of a grand empire, they were active participants in a vibrant culture that celebrated art, music, and storytelling. The walls of tombs and temples soon bore witness to their creativity, depicting scenes of daily life, religious rituals, and the afterlife, embodying the ideals and aspirations of a civilization on the rise. However, the journey was not without its challenges. The unification of Egypt brought about tensions between the established norms of Upper and Lower Egypt, as both regions grappled with their identities in this new order. The symbols of power, from the crowns to the ceremonial attire, became contentious markers of allegiance and heritage. Narmer's successors would face the daunting task of maintaining unity while respecting the diverse traditions that existed within their realm. As the power of the pharaoh solidified, so too did the concept of the afterlife. The Egyptians believed that death was not an end but a transition to another existence, a journey that required careful preparation and reverence. The elaborate burial practices and the construction of monumental tombs reflected this belief, with the construction of the first pyramids beginning just a few centuries later. These structures would become the embodiment of the pharaoh's power and the society's devotion to the divine. The birth of ancient Egyptian civilization under Nama represents a remarkable fusion of culture, religion, and governance, a legacy that would endure for millennia. From its earliest days, Egypt was marked by innovation and ambition, setting the stage for the grandeur of the pharaohs. As we delve deeper into their history, we will uncover the stories of the pyramids, the gods they worshipped, and the complex society that flourished along the banks of the Nile. The echoes of these ancient times remind us of the resilience of human spirit and the lasting impact of a civilization that would continue to inspire generations long after its sands were swept away. In this grand tapestry of ancient Egypt, the pyramids of Giza emerge as monumental testaments to human ambition and ingenuity. Dating back to around 2580 BCE, during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom, the Great Pyramid stands as the most iconic structure of this era, a colossal achievement that has captivated the world for millennia. As the sun rises over the Giza plateau, the sheer scale of this architectural marvel is breathtaking. It rises to an impressive height of approximately 481 feet, originally clad in polished Tura limestone that sparkled like a jewel in the desert sun. Constructing the Great Pyramid was no small feat. It is believed that a workforce of thousands, perhaps even upwards of 20,000 laborers, dedicated their lives to this monumental project. Contrary to the long-held belief that these workers were slaves, recent archaeological evidence suggests they were skilled laborers, well-fed and organized into teams that took immense pride in their work. They toiled together, united by a shared purpose under the watchful gaze of Pharaoh Khufu, who commanded the construction as a testament to his divine status and a means of ensuring his passage into the afterlife. The engineering techniques employed in the construction of the pyramids were nothing short of revolutionary. The ancient Egyptians developed a sophisticated understanding of mathematics, geometry, and astronomy. They meticulously calculated the dimensions and alignment of the pyramid with the cardinal points, achieving near-perfect accuracy that continues to astonish modern architects and historians. Massive limestone blocks, some weighing several tons, were quarried and transported to the site, likely using a combination of sledges and waterways to navigate the challenging desert terrain. As the blocks were stacked layer by layer, the pyramid gradually took shape, a process that required not only brute strength but also intricate planning. The workforce employed a system of ramps, possibly straight, zigzagging, or circular, to elevate the stones to the higher levels. This method showcased both their engineering prowess and their innovative spirit. Each stone was carefully placed, and the precision with which they fit together is a marvel of ancient craftsmanship that has stood the test of time. At the base of the Great Pyramid lies a complex of mortuary temples, accessible to the living yet designed to honor the deceased. This was a realm where the earthly and the divine converged, a sacred space for rituals and offerings to ensure the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife was met with favor. The pyramid's layout reflected the Egyptians' profound belief in the afterlife, where the deceased would ascend to the heavens and join the gods among the stars. The Great Pyramid was more than just a tomb, it was a statement of power and a symbol of the pharaoh's divine right to rule. Pharaohs were seen as living gods, and their connection to the afterlife was crucial for maintaining cosmic order, known as Ma'at. This concept intertwined with the construction of monumental structures, as each pyramid was a spiritual beacon, guiding the pharaoh's soul toward the heavens. The grandeur of the pyramids thus served a dual purpose. They were a display of earthly authority and a gateway to eternal life. But pyramids were not solely the domain of the pharaohs. They reflected the highly stratified society of ancient Egypt, where skilled laborers, architects, and craftsmen worked in perfect harmony. The organization of labor was pivotal. It required an elaborate bureaucratic system to manage resources, labor forces, and logistics. This structure fostered a sense of community and purpose among those who participated, reinforcing the social bonds that held ancient Egyptian society together. As the age of the pyramids progressed, the construction techniques became even more refined. Other pyramid complexes, such as those at Saqqara and Dasha, showcased advancements in design and construction methods. The bent pyramid, for instance, illustrates the evolution of pyramid architecture with its unique shape, a testament to the trial and error that accompanied such ambitious projects. Each step in this architectural journey marked a further commitment to the pharaoh's eternal legacy. The pyramids also played an essential role in the cultural identity of ancient Egypt. They became focal points for worship and pilgrimage, signifying the strength and continuity of the Egyptian state. They represented not just the tombs of kings but the collective aspirations of an entire civilization. As centuries passed, the pyramids became symbols of pride and power, their silhouettes etched into the collective memory of the people. Even as the pyramids rose, the complexity of the Egyptian religious landscape deepened. The worship of Osiris, the god of the dead, became increasingly intertwined with the rituals surrounding the funerary practices of the pharaohs. The belief that the pharaohs would become one with Osiris after death reinforced the need for grand burial sites, which in turn perpetuated the cycle of pyramid construction and refinement. The age of the pyramids represents a pinnacle in human achievement, where the merging of artistry, engineering, and spirituality created enduring legacies. The echoes of this era resonate through the ages, reminding us of the determination and creativity that can manifest when a society unites in purpose. Today, as we gaze upon the Great Pyramid, we do not merely observe a stone structure, we witness the embodiment of an ancient civilization's aspirations, a reflection of the human desire for immortality, and an unyielding testament to the resilience of the human spirit. As we delve deeper into the sands of this ancient civilization, we encounter the pharaohs, the towering figures who stood at the intersection of governance and divinity. These leaders were not merely rulers, they were living gods, mediators between the divine and the earthly realms. The Egyptians believed that each pharaoh embodied the spirit of Horus, the falcon-headed god of the sky, and upon their death, they transformed into Osiris, the god of the afterlife. This duality reinforced their authority and shaped the very fabric of Egyptian culture and religion. From the very beginning, the role of the pharaoh was intricately woven into the public consciousness. The first known pharaoh, Nama, who unified Upper and Lower Egypt around 3100 BCE, set a precedent for generations to come. His Nama palette celebrated this unification, showcasing the power inherent in a single ruler. Through this act, Nama not only claimed political supremacy but also laid the groundwork for a theocratic system that would dominate Egypt for millennia. The pharaoh was seen as a servant of the gods, tasked with maintaining Mat, the principle of cosmic order and balance, which was essential for the welfare of the state and its people. As Egypt flourished, the role of the pharaoh evolved, becoming ever more intertwined with the divine. The Old Kingdom, particularly during the Fourth Dynasty, showcased the opulence of pharaonic rule. It was during this time that the Great Pyramid of Giza was constructed under the reign of Pharaoh Khufu, a monumental testament to the belief in the afterlife. The pyramids were not just grand tombs, they were architectural expressions of the divine order, reaching towards the heavens to facilitate the pharaoh's ascension. The laborers who built these structures were not merely workers, they were participants in a sacred act, contributing to the eternal legacy of their ruler, who was believed to govern even after death. The grandeur of the pharaohs encompassed not just the physical realm but also the spiritual. Each ruler meticulously crafted a public image, often commissioning vast monuments that depicted their godlike status. Statues, temples, and inscriptions celebrated their divine connection, reinforcing their authority over both the living and the afterlife. Pharaohs like Ramses II, known as Ramses the Great, took this practice to new heights. His reign marked a golden age of monumental architecture and military prowess, but it was his depiction as a godlike figure that left an indelible mark on Egyptian history. Statues of Ramses, with his bold features and commanding presence, were erected across the land, proclaiming not just his power but his divine right to rule. The relationship between the pharaoh and the people was a complex web of reverence and expectation. The Egyptians looked to their pharaohs for guidance, protection, and sustenance. Festivals celebrating the gods often included the pharaoh as a central figure, emphasizing his role as a divine intermediary. The Opit festival, for instance, was a significant religious celebration where the statues of the gods were paraded through the streets, culminating in a symbolic union between the pharaoh and the deity Amun. This ritual served not only to appease the gods but also to reinforce the divine legitimacy of the pharaoh's rule, ensuring that the people remained steadfast in their loyalty. However, the pharaohs faced challenges that tested their divine mandate. Natural disasters, famine, and military defeat were interpreted as signs of displeasure from the gods. When the Nile failed to flood or crops withered, the populace turned their gaze toward their leaders, questioning their ability to maintain Mat. This delicate balance of divine favor and earthly governance meant that the pharaohs had to navigate their roles carefully. They often engaged in elaborate rituals and offerings to appease the gods and reassure their subjects of their divine connection. As we transition into the New Kingdom, the pharaohs adopted new strategies to solidify their divine status. The period was marked by a significant shift in religious practices and beliefs. Akhenaten, an enigmatic pharaoh, introduced monotheism with the worship of Aten, the sun disk. This radical change challenged the traditional polytheistic system and showcased the pharaoh's desire to reshape the divine order. However, the ensuing backlash from the priesthood and the people led to a swift restoration of the traditional pantheon after Akhenaten's death. Following this tumultuous period, the role of the pharaoh as a divine ruler was re-established with even greater fervor. The high priests regained their power, and pharaohs like Tutankhamun became symbols of the divine right restored. The elaborate tombs in the Valley of the Kings served as final resting places not only for the pharaohs but also as a means to ensure their safe passage into the afterlife, underscoring their status as divine beings. The legacy of the pharaohs continues to resonate through history, their towering achievements and divine aspirations forever etched in the annals of time. As we stand before their monumental creations, we witness the vestiges of a belief system that intertwined power, spirituality, and the human desire for immortality. The pharaohs shaped not only their civilization but also the cultural and religious landscapes of humanity, leaving an indelible mark that echoes through the ages. Their stories remind us that the pursuit of divinity, the quest for order, and the desire for legacy transcend time, inviting us to reflect on our own aspirations in the modern world. Their reigns carved out a narrative of not just rulers, but of gods among men, forever shaping how we understand power, worship, and the human experience. As the sun rose over the golden sands of ancient Egypt, it illuminated not just the monumental structures of the pharaohs but also the intricate symbols etched into stone and written on papyrus. These symbols, known as hieroglyphs, formed a vital bridge between the divine and the mortal, transforming abstract thoughts into a tangible form that could be shared, commemorated, and revered. Writing in ancient Egypt was more than a simple record-keeping tool, it was a sacred act, a means of ensuring that the power of the gods and the legacies of rulers would endure beyond the ephemeral nature of life. Hieroglyphs, often described as both art and language, flourished around 3100 BCE with the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt. The earliest inscriptions revealed not only practical information but also the profound spiritual beliefs of the Egyptian people. Each symbol held layers of meaning, and the carefully organized scripts displayed a reverence for the divine. This intertwining of the sacred and the secular set the tone for centuries of Egyptian civilization, with writing serving as a key to understanding the universe, the pharaohs, and the afterlife. The significance of hieroglyphs extended far beyond their aesthetic beauty. They were embedded in every aspect of life, from monumental inscriptions in temples celebrating the gods to everyday transactions documented on papyrus scrolls. The Egyptians developed a complex system that included logograms, representing words, and phonograms, representing sounds. This duality allowed for a rich expression of thought, enabling scribes to convey complex ideas and elaborate narratives. The art of writing became fiercely respected, as scribes held a prestigious place in society, bridging the gap between the divine and the ordinary citizen. In sacred texts, hieroglyphs conveyed the wisdom of the gods and the laws by which the people were expected to live. The pyramid texts, inscribed within the walls of royal tombs, served as a guide for the deceased pharaohs on their journey into the afterlife. These texts were not mere words but powerful invocations, designed to protect and awaken the soul from the slumber of death, ensuring that it would join the eternal realm of the gods. The symbolism within the hieroglyphs acted as a form of magic, with each character possessing its own energy and power. One of the most iconic uses of hieroglyphs was in the creation of monumental inscriptions, which adorned the temples and tombs across the landscape of Egypt. These inscriptions not only chronicled the deeds of pharaohs but also served as a form of communication with the divine. They acted as offerings, inviting the gods to partake in the celebrations of life and death. Each carved symbol was a prayer, a plea for favor and protection, and a testament to the enduring relationship between humanity and the divine. As the years unfolded, the use of hieroglyphs evolved, becoming more stylized and intricate. The introduction of cursive hieroglyphs, known as hieratic, allowed for quicker writing, particularly in administrative and commercial contexts. This practical adaptation reflected the growing complexity of Egyptian society, where trade and governance became increasingly sophisticated. In this arena, the written word took on a life of its own, shaping economic policies and social structures, while still retaining its sacred essence. However, the mysteries of hieroglyphs were not solely reserved for the elite. Everyday Egyptians used simpler forms of writing to communicate among themselves. Graffiti found in tombs and on monuments reveals a candid glimpse into the lives of common people, revealing their thoughts, desires, and aspirations. These inscriptions provided a human voice within the grand narrative of Egypt, a reminder that the world of the pharaohs was also one inhabited by ordinary souls with their own stories. Despite its significance, the art of hieroglyphic writing began to fade with the decline of the ancient Egyptian civilization. By the time of the Roman conquest in the 1st century BCE, the knowledge of how to read and write hieroglyphs had largely been lost. The last known hieroglyphs were inscribed in the 4th century CE, marking the end of an extraordinary era of communication. The once vibrant language fell silent, buried beneath the sands of time, leaving future generations to ponder its meaning. The rediscovery of hieroglyphs in the 19th century sparked a revolution in our understanding of ancient Egypt. The Rosetta Stone, discovered in 1799, became the key to unlocking this enigmatic script, allowing scholars to decipher the language and breathe life back into a civilization long forgotten. Through the painstaking efforts of linguists like Jean-François Champollion, the mysteries of the past began to unfold, revealing a rich tapestry of stories, beliefs, and cultural practices that had shaped humanity for millennia. Today, hieroglyphs continue to captivate the modern world, not only as a subject of academic inquiry but also as a source of inspiration in art, literature, and popular culture. They remind us of the power of the written word and its ability to transcend time and space. The legacy of hieroglyphs serves as a testament to the enduring human spirit, illustrating how the desire to communicate, to connect, and to leave a mark on the world is as vibrant today as it was in the age of the pharaohs. In the shadow of the ancient temples and tombs, the whispers of hieroglyphs echo across the ages, urging us to remember the stories they tell and the significance they hold. Their mysteries invite us to explore not just the past, but also our own relationships with language, culture, and the enduring quest for meaning in our lives. Through the lens of ancient Egypt's writing, we are reminded that the thirst for knowledge and understanding is a thread that weaves through the very fabric of humanity, forever binding us to our ancestors and their timeless legacies. As the waters of the Nile flowed through the heart of ancient Egypt, they nourished not only the land but also the rich tapestry of its spirituality. The gods and goddesses of the Nile adorned every aspect of daily life, each deity a reflection of the forces that shaped the world around them. This pantheon was vast and complex, embodying everything from the life-giving powers of the Nile to the cycles of death and rebirth, intertwining the divine with the mundane in profound ways. At the center of this divine hierarchy was Ra, the sun god, whose radiant form symbolized life, warmth, and growth. Each day, he traversed the sky in his solar boat, illuminating the landscape and nurturing the crops that sustained the people. Ra was not merely a celestial figure, he was the very essence of life itself, revered as the creator who set the cosmos in motion. His worship was a cornerstone of Egyptian spirituality, with temples dedicated to him dotting the landscape, each an architectural marvel designed to reflect the harmony of the universe. Equally influential was Osiris, the god of the afterlife, who ruled over the realm of the dead. His resurrection after being murdered by his brother Seth illustrated the themes of renewal and transformation, central to Egyptian belief. The annual flooding of the Nile, a phenomenon that brought fertility to the land, was seen as a manifestation of Osiris's tears, a reminder of the cycle of life and death. Temples and monuments, such as the grand structures found in the Valley of the Kings, were built to honor him, ensuring that the deceased would be welcomed into the afterlife with the same reverence that marked their earthly existence. Isis, the devoted wife of Osiris and a goddess of magic and motherhood, played a crucial role in the lives of ancient Egyptians. She represented the ideal woman, embodying compassion and nurturing. Her power to heal and protect made her a beloved figure, and her influence extended beyond the realms of the divine into the everyday lives of women. Shrines dedicated to Isis were often found in homes, signifying a personal connection to the divine feminine and the blessings she bestowed upon families. Horus, the falcon-headed god, symbolized kingship and the sky. He was seen as the protector of the pharaohs, embodying their divine right to rule. Every ruler of Egypt claimed descent from Horus, reinforcing their authority and legitimacy. Temples such as the massive complex at Edfu celebrated his victories and served as a reminder of the close relationship between the gods and the throne. In this way, religion was intertwined with governance, where the pharaoh was not only a political leader but also a divine intermediary. The pantheon also included gods like Anubis, the jackal-headed deity associated with mummification and the protection of the dead. Anubis's role was crucial during the funerary rites, ensuring safe passage to the afterlife. His imagery adorned tombs, and elaborate burial rituals showcased the Egyptians' deep respect for the dead, highlighting their belief in an existence beyond this life. The architectural grandeur of the tombs illustrated their commitment to these beliefs, as they aimed to create eternal resting places that reflected the importance of the afterlife. In addition to the major deities, a plethora of lesser-known gods and goddesses populated the Egyptian religious landscape. Each represented various natural and societal elements, from the goddess Ma'at, who embodied truth and justice, to the god Thoth, the wise scribe and god of wisdom. This multitude of divine figures allowed ancient Egyptians to explain and navigate the complexities of their world. Temples dedicated to these deities played a significant role in the urban planning of cities, often situated at the very center, serving not just as places of worship but as cultural and social hubs. The architectural masterpieces of ancient Egypt were a testament to their devotion to these gods. The grandeur of the temples, with their towering columns and intricate carvings, served both as places of worship and as statements of the pharaoh's power. The construction of such monumental structures was not merely an act of devotion, it was also a way to assert the pharaoh's divine mandate. For instance, the Temple of Karnak, dedicated primarily to Amun, showcased the wealth and power of the pharaohs, their names etched into the very stones as a declaration of their divine favor. The festivals that celebrated these deities were filled with exuberance and were integral to the social fabric of Egyptian society. They provided opportunities for the community to come together, reinforcing social bonds and shared beliefs. Processions, music, and dance filled the streets, drawing people from all walks of life to partake in the divine celebrations. Such events reminded the populace of their connection to the gods, reinforcing the notion that the divine influenced every aspect of their existence. Yet, as much as the gods influenced life on earth, they also held sway over the afterlife, creating a rich tapestry of beliefs surrounding death and resurrection. The Egyptians believed that the favor of the gods was essential for a successful journey into the afterlife, leading to the elaborate mortuary practices and the construction of grand tombs. The landscapes of Egypt, dotted with temples and tombs alike, illustrated a culture deeply intertwined with its deities, where spirituality was woven into the very fabric of daily existence. In these ways, the gods and goddesses of the Nile shaped not only the architecture and rituals of ancient Egypt but also the very identity of its people. Through their divine narratives, one can trace the contours of a civilization that sought to understand its place in the cosmos, leaving behind a legacy that continues to resonate in the human experience. The influence of these deities reaches beyond the boundaries of time, echoing through history as a reminder of humanity's quest for meaning in a world governed by forces much greater than itself. In the heart of ancient Egypt, where the golden sands of the desert meet the shimmering waters of the Nile, stood magnificent temples dedicated to the gods that shaped the very fabric of life. Among these sacred sites, Karnak and Luxor rise as monumental testaments to human devotion and architectural genius. These temples are not merely structures of stone, they are portals to the divine, embodying the aspirations and reverence of a civilization that sought to connect with the eternal. Karnak Temple, sprawling over an area larger than some cities, was constructed in a series of phases beginning around 2000 BCE and continuing for nearly 2 millennia. As one approaches its grand entrance, they are greeted by the imposing Great Hypostyle Hall, a forest of colossal columns that reach towards the heavens, each intricately adorned with hieroglyphs that narrate stories of gods and pharaohs. The sheer scale is breathtaking, with 134 massive pillars, some standing over 10 meters high and adorned with vivid carvings that have withstood the test of time. Light filters through the high ceilings, casting ethereal shadows that dance upon the walls, whispering secrets of a civilization long past. Each corner of Karnak serves as a reminder of its purpose, a temple not just for worship but for the very life force of Egypt itself. The sacred lake mirrors the sky, symbolizing the primordial waters from which creation emerged. The walls of Karnak tell tales of triumph and devotion, from the reign of Hatshepsut, one of the few female pharaohs to ascend the throne, to Ramses II, the great warrior king who expanded Egypt's borders and fortified its divine connections. The temple was a living entity, a place where priests and worshippers alike engaged in rituals designed to appease the gods, ensuring prosperity for the land. Just a short distance down the Nile stands the Luxor temple, a site that exudes a different kind of magic. Constructed during the reign of Amenhotep III in the 14th century BCE and later expanded by Ramses II, Luxor temple was dedicated to the Theban triad, Amun, Mut, and Khonsu. Its design encapsulates the relationship between humanity and the divine, with features that evoke a sense of grandeur and intimacy. The temple's long avenue of sphinxes, once a grand procession route, leads visitors to a foreboding entrance flanked by majestic obelisks, one of which still stands proudly, while the other now graces the Place de la Concorde in Paris. As visitors step inside Luxor temple, they are enveloped in a world of color and form. The walls, adorned with bas-reliefs, depict scenes of political power and divine interaction, illustrating the pharaohs as intermediaries between the gods and their people. The sanctuary, where the sacred statue of Amun once resided, was a space shrouded in mystery and reverence, accessible only to the high priests. Here, the rituals of rebirth and renewal were performed, a vital aspect of Egyptian spirituality. The architectural brilliance of these temples goes beyond their sheer size and intricate carvings. The alignment of the structures was meticulously planned, with the sun's journey playing a crucial role in their design. At Karnak, the winter solstice would cast a ray of sunlight through the temple's axis, illuminating the inner sanctum, a phenomenon that speaks to the Egyptians' profound understanding of astronomy and their desire to harmonize with the cosmos. This celestial connection imbued the temples with a sense of timelessness, transforming them into beacons of light and life, drawing worshippers and visitors alike into a spiritual embrace. Moreover, the temples served not only as places of worship but also as centers of administration, education, and community. They were bustling hubs where priests, scholars, and artisans gathered, sharing knowledge and culture. The economy of ancient Egypt was deeply entwined with these sacred sites, offerings, donations, and the wealth generated by the agricultural bounty of the Nile flowed into their coffers, establishing the temples as powerful institutions both spiritually and politically. As we explore these temples today, we must consider the legacy they leave behind. The intricate designs and artistic expressions continue to inspire architects and artists across the globe, showcasing the enduring influence of ancient Egyptian civilization on modern culture. The stories etched into stone serve as a testament to humanity's unending quest for connection, to the divine, to nature, and to one another. Yet, as we admire the splendor of Karnak and Luxor, we cannot ignore the challenges they face in the modern era. Erosion, pollution, and the relentless passage of time threaten the very stones that have stood for millennia. Conservation efforts are crucial to ensure that these wonders endure for future generations, allowing them to witness the grandeur of a civilization that sought to reach the heavens. In the shadows of Karnak and Luxor, the whispers of the past echo, reminding us of a world where gods walked among mortals and every stone was imbued with meaning. The legacy of these temples transcends their physical forms, speaking to the human spirit's desire for transcendence, understanding, and connection. They stand as enduring symbols of faith, creativity, and the eternal pursuit of the divine, inviting all who visit to ponder their own place within the tapestry of history. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the vast desert, the ancient Egyptians turned their minds to the most profound mystery of existence: what lies beyond the veil of death. To them, the afterlife was not an abstract concept, but a tangible realm that beckoned with the promise of eternal life. This belief shaped every facet of their society, guiding their actions and inspiring monumental constructions dedicated to the deceased. The Egyptians viewed death not as an end, but as a critical transition to a new existence. They believed that the journey to the afterlife was a perilous one, fraught with trials that demanded a soul's worth and virtue. Mummification became the sacred art that prepared the body for this journey. It was a meticulous process, designed to preserve the physical form for eternity. Embalmers meticulously removed internal organs, treated the body with natron salts, and wrapped it in layers of linen, ensuring it would withstand the sands of time. This was not simply about preserving flesh, it was an expression of love and respect for the departed, a way to honor their life and prepare them for the eternal journey ahead. Tombs, the final resting places of the elite and the powerful, were built to mirror the grandeur of life on Earth. Among the most iconic of these structures are the pyramids, standing as colossal testaments to the Egyptians' architectural prowess and their beliefs about the afterlife. The Great Pyramid of Giza, constructed for Pharaoh Khufu around 2580 BC, was not just a tomb but a passageway to the heavens. It was aligned with celestial bodies, reflecting the Egyptians' deep understanding of astronomy, and its chambers were filled with treasures intended to accompany the pharaoh into the next world. Every element of the pyramid's design was meticulously planned, representing a seamless blend of spirituality and functionality. Yet, not every individual could afford the luxury of a pyramid. For the common person, tombs took on various forms, from simple pit graves to more elaborate rock-cut tombs adorned with murals and inscriptions. These burial sites were not merely for the deceased, they served as a means of communication with the living. Tomb walls depicted daily scenes of life, ensuring that the dead retained their identity and could continue to enjoy the pleasures they once knew. In this way, the afterlife was a continuation of existence, not a separate realm. At the heart of this intricate belief system was the concept of Ma'at, representing truth, balance, and cosmic order. The deceased were judged by Osiris, the god of the afterlife, who weighed their hearts against the feather of Ma'at. A heart that was lighter than the feather signified a life lived in harmony and virtue, allowing the soul to enter the realm of the blessed. However, a heavier heart faced dire consequences, often being devoured by Amit, a fearsome creature that embodied the devouring of unworthy souls. This judgment emphasized the importance of living a righteous life, as every action was believed to ripple into eternity. The Egyptians imagined the afterlife as a beautiful, utopian landscape, much like the lush banks of the Nile. It was a place free from the struggles of earthly existence, where the deceased could engage in endless festivities, agricultural abundance, and the company of loved ones. The field of reeds became synonymous with this paradise, a vision of a serene, idyllic environment where one could live in peace and joy. This vision was so deeply ingrained in their culture that it influenced their art, literature, and religious practices. The intricate details of burial rituals and tomb decorations reflect the depth of their beliefs. Funerary texts like the Pyramid Texts and the later Book of the Dead served as guides for the departed, filled with spells and instructions designed to assist them in navigating the challenges of the afterlife. These texts were often inscribed on the walls of tombs or included in burial goods, ensuring that the wisdom of the ages accompanied the deceased into eternity. To further safeguard the journey beyond, grave goods were carefully selected and placed within the tomb. These artifacts ranged from everyday items to elaborate jewelry and food offerings, all intended to provide comfort in the afterlife. The depictions within tombs echoed this sentiment, showcasing the deceased engaged in activities they enjoyed during their lifetime, reinforcing the belief in a continuous, joyful existence. As centuries passed and dynasties rose and fell, the rituals surrounding death and the afterlife evolved but remained deeply entrenched in Egyptian culture. The construction of elaborate burial sites continued, with the Valley of the Kings becoming a notable necropolis for pharaohs and nobles during the New Kingdom. Here, magnificent tombs were carved into the rock, adorned with vibrant frescoes and intricate hieroglyphs, encapsulating the knowledge and beliefs of a civilization that sought to transcend mortality. This unwavering focus on the afterlife, expressed through elaborate mummification practices and the construction of grandiose tombs, left an indelible mark on humanity. The ancient Egyptians crafted a narrative that intertwined life, death, and rebirth, echoing through the ages. Their legacy reminds us of the universal quest to understand our existence and what follows. As we continue to uncover the mysteries of their beliefs, we find reflections of our own desires for meaning, continuity, and transcendence in the face of mortality. As the sands of time shifted, revealing secrets buried for millennia, the Valley of the Kings emerged as a haunting testament to the grandeur and ambitions of ancient Egypt. Nestled on the west bank of the Nile near Luxor, this arid expanse became the final resting place for pharaohs and powerful nobles during the New Kingdom. The valley, with its hidden tombs carved deep into the rock, would ultimately become a treasure trove of history, art, and opulence. It was in this sacred landscape that the world would come to know the name Tutankhamun, a young pharaoh whose brief reign in the 14th century BCE would render him immortal. Discovered in 1922 by British archaeologist Howard Carter, the tomb of Tutankhamun was a revelation that captivated the world. For centuries, the valley had been a site of intrigue and speculation, but it was the unearthing of this young king's burial site that transformed our understanding of ancient Egyptian culture and their elaborate funerary practices. Carter's expedition was born out of years of searching for the lost tombs of royalty, driven by a promise of discovery in a land rich with hidden history. The momentous find began on November 4, when Carter's crew stumbled upon a step that led downwards, only to uncover the entrance to a tomb sealed for over 3,000 years. As they pried open the door, they were met with the sight of a treasure trove untouched by grave robbers. It was a scene that seemed to leap from the pages of legend, a room filled with gilded artifacts, elaborate furniture, and lavish jewelry, all meticulously arranged to accompany the young pharaoh on his journey to the afterlife. Among the treasures found in the tomb was the iconic golden mask of Tutankhamun, a breathtaking piece that epitomized the artistic mastery of the period. Crafted from solid gold and adorned with lapis lazuli and carnelian, the mask was not just a mere adornment, it was a symbol of divine protection, ensuring that the young king would be recognized and revered in the afterlife. The craftsmanship reflected the pinnacle of ancient Egyptian artistry, a blend of function and beauty that would influence artisans for generations. The burial chamber itself was a marvel, filled with an array of artifacts intended to serve the pharaoh in eternity. There were chariots, weapons, and countless items of daily use, all encapsulating the belief that life continued beyond the grave. Tutankhamun's tomb also revealed a startling glimpse into the tumultuous history of his reign, marked by the religious upheaval initiated by his predecessor, Akhenaten. As the boy king attempted to restore traditional worship of the gods, his tomb became a blank canvas that spoke of a nation's longing for stability amidst chaos. However, the treasures of the Valley of the Kings are not merely objects of beauty. They hold stories that weave together the lives of those who once ruled Egypt and the beliefs that guided their existence. The royal tombs, meticulously designed with inscriptions and paintings, served as elaborate guides through the afterlife. Each scene depicted the journey of the deceased, portraying rituals, offerings, and the favor of the gods. The artistry in these tombs reveals the complexities of their spiritual beliefs, emphasizing the relationship between the living and the divine. Yet, as with all treasures, the allure of the Valley of the Kings drew the unwanted gaze of thieves. Despite the ancient Egyptians' efforts to secure their tombs with traps and sealed entrances, many were ultimately disturbed by grave robbers seeking riches. The looting of royal tombs became a grim reality, with the treasures of the past often reduced to mere commodities. Carter's discovery revived interest in the valley, prompting a new wave of archaeological expeditions aimed at uncovering more tombs and their secrets. The allure of potential treasures sparked a frenzy, but the true value of these finds transcends gold and jewels. They serve as a bridge to an era long gone, presenting a vivid tapestry of life, death, and the divine in ancient Egypt. As researchers continuously studied the artifacts unearthed, they began to connect the dots between the treasures of the valley and the broader narrative of ancient Egyptian civilization. Each find offered insights into the daily lives of the people, the hierarchies that defined their society, and the intricate rituals that governed their culture. These treasures were not merely possessions, they were symbols of power, belief, and continuity. Yet the most profound impact of Tutankhamun's tomb came not just from the artifacts themselves, but from the lessons they imparted. The young king, who reigned for a brief period before his untimely death at around 18 years old, became emblematic of the fragility of life and the enduring quest for immortality. His story resonates deeply, reminding us of the universal desire to leave behind a legacy, to be remembered long after we are gone. In the decades that followed the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb, the fascination with ancient Egypt only deepened. The treasures of the Valley of the Kings sparked a global obsession that permeated art, literature, and even fashion. Egyptology flourished as a discipline, attracting scholars and enthusiasts eager to unlock the secrets of this ancient civilization. Today, as we stand in awe before the riches of the valley, we are reminded that these artifacts are more than relics of a bygone era. They are echoes of a society that grappled with the same questions we face today: what lies beyond this life? How do we honor those who came before us? The lost treasures of the Valley of the Kings continue to inspire a collective yearning for understanding, a testament to the enduring legacy of ancient Egypt and its profound influence on humanity's narrative. As the sun rises over the Giza plateau, casting long shadows across the colossal pyramids, one cannot help but marvel at the sheer audacity of ancient Egyptian engineering. These monumental structures, crafted from massive stones quarried and transported with precision, are a testament to a civilization that mastered the science of stone long before the advent of modern machinery. The story of how these titanic blocks were extracted and moved reveals not just the ingenuity of the people but also the profound connections they held to their environment and their beliefs. The quarries of ancient Egypt were strategically located, primarily along the banks of the Nile, where limestone and granite were abundant. The most famous of these sites, the Tura limestone quarries, situated just across the river from Cairo, provided the light-colored stone essential for the casing of the pyramids. Workers would have used simple yet effective tools, including copper chisels and wooden sledges, to extract these massive stones. Through arduous labor, skilled artisans transformed raw rock into perfectly shaped blocks, each weighing several tons. This was no small feat, and it required not only brute strength but also a sophisticated understanding of geology and tool-making. Transporting these enormous stones presented another challenge that demanded innovation. The Nile, with its annual floods, became an unexpected ally in this endeavor. During the inundation, workers utilized the river's waters to float the stones, dramatically reducing the friction that would have made dragging them overland nearly impossible. Large wooden barges, crafted from the abundant trees of the Nile's banks, were loaded with these blocks and navigated downstream toward construction sites. This clever use of natural resources highlights the Egyptians' ability to harness their environment to their advantage, a principle that resonates with their overall approach to life and death. Once the stones arrived at the construction sites, the labor did not cease. The construction of the pyramids required meticulous planning and coordination. Workers, often organized into teams, used ramps made from mud bricks and limestone chippings to maneuver the stones into place. The theories surrounding these ramp systems have evolved over the years, with suggestions ranging from straight ramps to more complex spiral configurations. Each design reflects a keen understanding of physics and engineering principles, showcasing the Egyptians' remarkable ability to problem-solve with the tools and materials available to them. The precise alignment of the pyramids with the cardinal points of the compass further demonstrates this advanced knowledge. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for example, is aligned so closely with true north that its error is less than 1 degree. This feat likely involved a combination of astronomy and surveying techniques, indicating that the ancient Egyptians not only built with stone but also with an acute awareness of the cosmos above them. They employed a rudimentary yet effective form of surveying using tools like the merkit, a type of sundial, and the bay, a plumb line to ensure verticality. The labor force that undertook these monumental tasks was not merely a group of slaves, as often depicted in popular culture. Archaeological evidence suggests that many workers were skilled laborers who were well-fed and housed, possibly organized into a system akin to modern labor unions. They worked in rotating shifts, allowing for a steady supply of labor while promoting camaraderie among workers, which would have been essential for morale during such grueling projects. The logistics of managing such a workforce further emphasize the sophistication of ancient Egyptian society. Yet, the intelligence behind the science of stone did not stop at construction methods. The ancient Egyptians also understood the properties of their materials. They recognized that different types of stone had various characteristics, which influenced their choice depending on the intended use. For example, while limestone was preferred for the renowned pyramids, granite from Aswan was used for the inner chambers and sarcophagi, prized for its durability and resistance to erosion. This selective use of materials showcases a level of empirical knowledge that would not be fully articulated until many centuries later. The legacy of these techniques extends far beyond the borders of ancient Egypt. As the influence of this civilization spread through trade and conquest, so too did their knowledge of stone working. The Greeks and later the Romans would adopt and adapt these methods, showcasing the timelessness of this expertise. In a world increasingly enamored by the aesthetic and functional qualities of stone, the advancements made by the Egyptians served as a foundational pillar for future architectural achievements. Even today, as modern engineers and archaeologists study these ancient techniques, they continue to uncover the mysteries behind the construction of these wonders. State-of-the-art imaging technologies and experimental archaeology have shed light on methods that may have been lost to time. By recreating the tools and techniques of the ancient Egyptians, researchers have not only gained insights into their practical skills but also a deeper appreciation for the ingenuity of a civilization that continues to inspire awe. In a world where the echoes of the past resonate with contemporary challenges, the Egyptians' mastery of stone serves as a reminder of human potential and creativity. Their ability to manipulate the very materials of the earth into lasting monuments speaks to a profound understanding of nature and a relentless pursuit of excellence. As we stand before the remnants of this ancient civilization, we are beckoned to reflect on our own relationship with the natural world and our capacity to leave behind legacies that will endure for generations to come. The echoes of their ingenuity remind us that the art of construction is as much about the spirit of collaboration and innovation as it is about the stone itself, binding us across millennia in a shared quest for meaning and permanence. As we delve deeper into the legacy of ancient Egypt, the splendor of their art and architecture emerges as one of the most lasting influences on modern design. The monumental structures and intricate artworks of this civilization stand as testaments to their advanced understanding of aesthetics, engineering, and the human condition. The very essence of Egyptian art lies in its unwavering commitment to symmetry, proportion, and harmony, principles that continue to resonate in contemporary architecture and design. Take a moment to envision the Great Pyramid of Giza, a marvel that has withstood the ravages of time for over 4,000 years. Constructed around 2580 BC, it was not merely a tomb but a cosmic symbol reflecting the Egyptians' beliefs about life, death, and the afterlife. Its precise alignment with the cardinal points and its monumental scale exemplify an architectural sophistication that was unparalleled in the ancient world. This precision and grandeur have inspired countless architects throughout history, from the neoclassical designs of the 18th and 19th centuries to modern skyscrapers that echo the same principles of balance and monumentalism. Egyptian architecture is distinguished by its use of monumental stonework and grand scale, seen in the temples dedicated to their gods and pharaohs. The Temple of Karnak, for instance, is a sprawling complex that symbolizes the power of the state and the divine. Built over centuries, its massive columns adorned with intricate hieroglyphs and towering obelisks have inspired architects and artists, reminding us that structures can tell stories and embody cultural values. The sheer scale of these temples was not merely for awe, it was a demonstration of the pharaoh's divine right to rule, merging art with political power. This merging of artistic expression and statecraft has found echoes in various cultures worldwide, influencing everything from the cathedrals of medieval Europe to the facades of modern governmental buildings. The influence of ancient Egyptian art extends beyond architecture, it permeates various forms of artistic expression. The vibrant colors that adorned their tombs have long fascinated artists. Reds, blues, and yellows, derived from natural minerals, were not just for decoration but were imbued with symbolic meanings reflecting life, death, and regeneration. This approach to color has inspired movements such as the Art Deco of the early 20th century, where bold colors and geometric patterns emerged, drawing on the same sense of opulence and celebration of life that characterized Egyptian artistry. Furthermore, the motifs of Egyptian art, such as the lotus flower, the ankh, and depictions of deities, continue to influence modern design. These symbols, rich with meaning, have found their way into everything from fashion to home decor. Designers often draw on the timeless elegance of Egyptian patterns, recognizing that the simplicity and symmetry of these forms evoke a sense of continuity and connection to a shared heritage. The revival of interest in these motifs speaks to humanity's enduring fascination with the past and our desire to integrate its beauty into our present. In examining the distinctive artistic styles of ancient Egypt, one cannot overlook the narrative quality embedded in their works. Each piece, whether it be a bas-relief, a painted wall, or a sculpture, tells a story, often depicting the lives of pharaohs, scenes of daily life, or mythological tales. This storytelling aspect has profound implications for modern art. Contemporary artists often seek to convey narratives through their work, drawing inspiration from ancient practices that prioritized meaning and communication over mere aesthetics. The techniques used by Egyptian artists, such as the use of scale to denote importance or the stylization of figures to convey identity, continue to influence how stories are told visually today. The architectural innovations of the Egyptians also laid the groundwork for modern engineering. The use of corbel arches and post and lintel construction, first developed by ancient builders, is foundational in contemporary architecture. The techniques that allowed for the construction of massive stone structures have evolved, but the underlying principles remain as relevant as ever. Today's architects are still inspired by the fundamental concepts of light, space, and structure that the Egyptians mastered thousands of years ago, demonstrating how their legacies are woven into the fabric of modern design. Moreover, the Egyptians had a profound understanding of the surrounding environment, an aspect that resonates deeply in current architectural practices that emphasize sustainability and harmony with nature. Structures were oriented to capture sunlight, provide cooling breezes, and utilize local materials. This ecological consciousness is being revisited today as architects strive to create buildings that are not only functional but also environmentally responsible, echoing the ancient Egyptians' respect for the natural world around them. As we reflect on the artistic and architectural legacies of ancient Egypt, it becomes clear that their influence is both profound and pervasive. The principles of symmetry, proportion, and narrative storytelling found in their art continue to shape our understanding of beauty and function in the built environment. The ancient Egyptians left behind more than just stone. They imparted a philosophy of design that speaks to the enduring desire to create spaces that inspire, awe, and connect us to our shared human experience. In the hands of modern artisans and architects, their legacy is not merely preserved but revitalized, bridging the gap between ancient wisdom and contemporary innovation. Through the lens of their artistry, we can see how the past informs our present, guiding us as custodians of culture and creativity as we forge our paths into the future. As the sands of time shift, revealing layers of history long obscured, one fact stands out starkly: the role of women in ancient Egypt was far more complex and influential than many may realize. From the majestic heights of royalty to the everyday lives of commoners, women played crucial roles that shaped the fabric of Egyptian society. The powerful queens of Egypt, like Hatshepsut and Cleopatra, emerged not just as consorts but as formidable leaders, navigating the turbulent waters of politics and diplomacy with remarkable skill. Hatshepsut, ascending to the throne around 1479 BCE, is one of the most iconic figures in ancient Egyptian history. Initially serving as regent for her stepson Thutmose III, she soon declared herself pharaoh, donning male regalia and adopting the title of king. This audacious move was not just a personal ambition, it was a calculated strategy to solidify her power in a male-dominated world. Under her reign, Hatshepsut oversaw monumental building projects, including the magnificent temple at Deir el-Bahari, which still captivates visitors today. Her legacy is a testament to the fact that women could wield significant authority and influence, not just as figures behind the throne but as sovereign rulers in their own right. Then there was Cleopatra, a name synonymous with beauty and intrigue. Born in 69 BCE, she was the last active pharaoh of ancient Egypt, renowned for her intelligence and political acumen. Cleopatra's reign was marked by her strategic alliances with powerful Roman leaders, such as Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. Her ability to speak multiple languages and understand the intricacies of governance enabled her to navigate the complexities of her time. In contrast to the often romanticized tales of her life, Cleopatra was a skilled diplomat and a savvy ruler who sought to defend her kingdom against the encroaching power of Rome. Her legacy transcends the romanticized narratives, highlighting the political ingenuity women could exercise in the face of adversity. But the influence of women in ancient Egypt was not limited to royalty. Women enjoyed certain legal rights that were quite progressive for their time, including the ability to own property, initiate divorce, and engage in trade. They played active roles in religious life, serving as priestesses and participating in rituals that were essential to maintaining the favor of the gods. Temples were not only centers of worship but also economic powerhouses where women could wield influence. The goddess Isis, who represented motherhood and femininity, was revered throughout Egypt, reinforcing the cultural importance of women in both spiritual and societal contexts. Yet, despite this apparent elevation, the societal structure still placed women in a subordinate position compared to men. The ideal of a woman was often tied to her roles as a wife and mother, and while some women broke through these confines, the vast majority lived their lives within the parameters set by a patriarchal society. However, even within these limitations, women found ways to exert their influence. They managed households, maintained family businesses, and played pivotal roles in the upbringing of children. The very fabric of family life in ancient Egypt was woven with the contributions of women, whose labor was essential to the functioning of society. The stories of women in ancient Egypt are also preserved in art and literature. Tomb paintings often depicted women in positions of importance, showcasing their roles in feasting, music, and dance. These images served not only as a reflection of their lives but as a testament to their vital presence in the afterlife, ensuring they were remembered and honored by future generations. The inscriptions and hieroglyphs that adorned these tombs provided insights into the identities and aspirations of women, illustrating their dreams and desires alongside those of their male counterparts. As we explore the legacies of these women, we find echoes of their strength and resilience in the stories of countless others throughout history. Their ability to carve out spaces of power and influence in a world that often sought to marginalize them is a narrative that continues to inspire. From the halls of ancient palaces to the modern struggle for gender equality, the principles of agency and autonomy resonate through time. In examining the roles of women in ancient Egypt, we uncover a nuanced portrait of a civilization that understood the importance of balance in society. While the grand monuments and stone structures may stand as the most visible legacies of ancient Egypt, the impact of women like Hatshepsut and Cleopatra reverberates through the ages, reminding us that true power is often found in the resilience of those who navigate the world with intelligence and grace. As we journey through the annals of history, the legacies of these extraordinary women challenge us to rethink our understanding of the past. They invite us to acknowledge the contributions of women, not just as wives and mothers but as leaders, thinkers, and creators who shaped the course of history. The enduring influence of these figures extends far beyond the borders of ancient Egypt, inspiring movements for equality and empowerment in every corner of the globe. Their spirits continue to guide us as we reflect on our own roles in shaping the future, reminding us that the stones of the past whisper tales of strength, determination, and hope, urging us forward in our pursuit of justice and fairness. The echoes of eternity that once resonated through the grand temples and bustling streets of ancient Egypt began to fade as cracks appeared in the foundation of this illustrious civilization. The era of prosperity and divine rule that had characterized the heights of Egyptian power was slowly giving way to shadows of turmoil and uncertainty. The seeds of decline were sown not only by foreign invaders but also through internal strife that would ultimately reshape the course of history. By the 12th century BCE, Egypt faced mounting pressures from outside forces. The invasions of the Sea Peoples, a coalition of maritime raiders, sent shockwaves through the eastern Mediterranean. These aggressors wreaked havoc on coastal cities and trade routes, destabilizing economies and eroding the very fabric of society. The once unassailable walls of pharaohs crumbled under the weight of relentless attacks. The loss of territories, such as Canaan and parts of the Levant, was not just a military defeat, it marked the unraveling of a once mighty empire that had enjoyed centuries of unparalleled dominance. As foreign threats loomed large, internal discord further exacerbated the situation. The latter years of the new kingdom saw a decline in central authority, leading to power struggles among the nobility. The pharaohs, once regarded as gods on earth, struggled to maintain control over their own people. Regional governors and local leaders began asserting their independence, challenging the pharaoh's authority and plunging the nation into a fragmented state. This disunity was palpable in the hearts of the people, once united under the banner of their divine leaders. The Amarna period, marked by the reign of Akhenaten, epitomized this crisis. Akhenaten's radical religious reforms sought to elevate the sun disk Aten above the traditional pantheon of gods. This shift alienated many, leading to dissent among the populace and a backlash from the powerful priesthood of Amun. The instability that ensued laid bare the fractures within Egyptian society, as loyalty to the pharaoh waned and the public began to question the very foundations of their beliefs. As the dust settled from the chaos of the Amarna period, Egypt faced new challenges. The powerful Nubians to the south, once vassals, began to assert their dominance. By the 8th century BCE, the Nubian kingdom of Kush had made significant inroads into Egyptian territory, eventually conquering Thebes and establishing a dynasty that ruled Egypt as pharaohs. This period, known as the 25th dynasty, witnessed a unique blending of cultures, yet it also signaled continued erosion of Egyptian sovereignty as foreign rulers governed from the heart of the Nile. The arrival of the Assyrians, fierce conquerors from the north, marked another nail in the coffin of Egyptian autonomy. In 663 BCE, the Assyrian king Ashurbanipal invaded Egypt, leveraging its internal divisions to establish control over the country. Though the Egyptians managed to briefly reclaim power, they were unable to stem the tide of foreign dominance. The Assyrians' relentless campaigns further drained Egypt's resources and undermined its authority, leaving it increasingly vulnerable to external forces. The final phase of decline came during the 6th century BCE when the Persian Empire, the mightiest force of the age, turned its gaze upon Egypt. Cambyses II, son of Cyrus the Great, invaded in 525 BCE and succeeded where others had failed. He captured Memphis and declared himself pharaoh, marking the beginning of the 27th dynasty, a period characterized by foreign rule that intensified the sense of loss among the Egyptian people. The once glorious temples fell into disrepair, and the sacred rites that had been upheld for millennia were neglected under Persian governance. Yet, even in the face of crushing foreign power, the heart of Egypt beat on. The resistance to Persian rule ignited a fierce sense of nationalism among the populace. Despite the heavy hand of the empire, local uprisings and rebellion simmered beneath the surface, evidence of the enduring spirit of a culture unwilling to relinquish its heritage. The Persian grip on Egypt was tenuous, marked by unrest and a yearning for independence that echoed through the ages. The stage was set for a new chapter in Egypt's storied history, a chapter that would culminate in one of the most significant conquests of the ancient world. In 332 BCE, Alexander the Great, the Macedonian conqueror whose ambition knew no bounds, arrived on the banks of the Nile. With the Persian Empire in decline, Alexander seized the opportunity to liberate Egypt from foreign oppression. The Egyptians welcomed him as a liberator, their hearts swelled with hope as he rode into Alexandria, establishing a new era of Greek influence. This conquest did not merely signify a change in rulers, it ushered in a vibrant cultural fusion that would leave an indelible mark on the civilization of Egypt. The Hellenistic period that followed brought advancements in philosophy, science, and the arts, yet it also marked the end of an era, a final chapter in the legacy of the great pharaohs. The pyramids that had once stood as symbols of an invincible empire would now witness the rise and fall of empires beyond their own, embodying the resilience and fragility of human achievement. In the end, the decline of ancient Egypt was not just about the loss of power or territory, it was a profound transformation, a testament to the complexities of civilization itself. Through invasions, internal strife, and the relentless march of time, the once great empire faded, yet its spirits lingered. As the sands of time continued to shift, the lessons learned from its extraordinary journey would echo through the ages, offering wisdom for those who would come after. As the 19th century dawned, the world found itself captivated by the allure of antiquity, with ancient Egypt emerging as a resplendent jewel in the crown of human history. The echoes of pharaohs and the mysteries of hieroglyphs drew a new breed of adventurers, archaeologists and explorers armed not with swords, but with shovels and notebooks. This was an era marked by a fervent desire to rediscover the past, and Egypt, with its monumental ruins and enigmatic treasures, became the focal point of this intellectual expedition. In 1798, the French military leader Napoleon Bonaparte embarked on a campaign to conquer Egypt, but rather than solely seeking territory, he brought along a team of scientists and scholars. Their remarkable findings culminated in the monumental publication known as the Description de l'Egypte, which provided a wealth of knowledge about Egyptian culture, history, and geography. This endeavor ignited a spark of fascination that spread like wildfire through Europe, as the secrets of the ancient civilization began to unfold in the eyes of the world. The subsequent decades saw a parade of explorers such as Giovanni Battista Belzoni, often dubbed the Great Belzoni, who trekked into the deserts and tombs of Egypt. With extraordinary skill, he unearthed magnificent artifacts, including the colossal statue of Ramses II at the entrance of the Ramesseum. Each discovery was not merely a find, but a resurrection of the past, breathing life into the stories and legends that had long been shrouded in silence. Belzoni's exploits inspired others, showcasing the thrill of adventure and the promise of knowledge nestled within the sands. In the 1820s, the British archaeologist Sir John Gardner Wilkinson emerged as a pivotal figure in the field, meticulously documenting his travels along the Nile. His writings not only enriched the understanding of ancient Egyptian society but also laid the groundwork for future explorations, emphasizing the importance of systematic study and preservation of artifacts. As the dusty tombs began to reveal their secrets, the call to further investigate this ancient civilization grew louder, compelling governments and scholars to invest time and resources into the pursuit of knowledge. Simultaneously, the Rosetta Stone, discovered in 1799, stood as a key to unlocking the language of the ancients. This granodiorite stele bore inscriptions in three scripts: Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphic, serving as a bridge between the lost language of Egypt and the modern world. The deciphering of these hieroglyphs by Jean-François Champollion in 1822 was a monumental achievement that opened the floodgates of ancient knowledge. With each newly translated passage, the stories of gods, kings, and everyday life emerged from the past, offering a deeper understanding of a civilization that had once thrived along the banks of the Nile. As the 19th century progressed, the movement towards Egyptology solidified as a legitimate academic discipline. Scholars flocked to Egypt, eager to map the course of its history, to understand its culture, and to collect artifacts that could be sent back to museums across Europe. The British Museum became a central hub, housing countless treasures including mummies, sarcophagi, and intricate jewelry. These relics not only fascinated the public but also sparked debates about ownership and cultural heritage that resonate to this day. Among the prominent figures of this era was Amelia Edwards, a writer and pioneering advocate for the preservation of Egypt's antiquities. Her travels through Egypt in the 1870s led her to establish the Egypt Exploration Fund, which aimed to fund archaeological excavations and encourage the responsible study of ancient sites. She understood that the treasures of Egypt were not merely objects to be collected, but remnants of a rich cultural tapestry deserving of respect and preservation. Her passion echoed the growing recognition of the importance of safeguarding these sites from the ravages of time and modernity. The fascination with ancient Egypt reached a fever pitch, inspiring literature, art, and even architecture. The exoticism of the pharaohs and the grandeur of their monuments infiltrated the imagination of European society. The discovery of King Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922 by Howard Carter would later solidify this obsession, though it was the groundwork laid by the explorers and scholars of the 19th century that paved the way for such monumental revelations. Yet, amidst this fervor, the question arose, at what cost did this revival come? The relentless pursuit of artifacts often led to controversial excavations, with many treasures finding their way into foreign museums while archaeological sites fell victim to neglect and looting. The legacies of these explorers are a mixed tapestry of discovery and destruction, as the narrative of ancient Egypt was rewritten not only by the finds but also by the implications of their extraction. As the 19th century drew to a close, the world stood on the precipice of a new understanding of ancient Egypt. The enthusiasm for this extraordinary civilization sparked an enduring legacy that would shape the fields of archaeology and Egyptology for generations to come. The sands of time had not just concealed the past, they had transformed it into a treasure trove of knowledge waiting to be rediscovered, illuminating the extraordinary achievements of a civilization that continues to resonate in the collective consciousness of humanity. Through the lens of modern rediscovery, the lost wonders of ancient Egypt have not only inspired awe but also challenged us to reconsider our connection to history and our responsibility in preserving the legacies of those who came before. The story of the Rosetta Stone begins in 1799, during Napoleon Bonaparte's ill-fated expedition to Egypt. As French soldiers scoured the land for possibilities of conquest and knowledge, one stumbled upon a granite slab near the town of Rosetta, now known as Rashid. This seemingly ordinary stone would soon become the key to unlocking the secrets of an ancient civilization. The inscription on the stone was a decree issued in 196 BC during the reign of Ptolemy V, and it was written in three scripts: Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphs. Here lay the potential to bridge the vast chasm of time separating the modern world from the voices of ancient Egypt. Before the discovery of the Rosetta Stone, hieroglyphs were a tantalizing mystery. Scholars and enthusiasts alike had been captivated by the intricate symbols that adorned the walls of temples and tombs, but they were trapped in silence, unable to penetrate the enigma that had guarded Egypt's past for centuries. The stone, however, presented a unique opportunity. By comparing the known Greek text, which was understood, with the hieroglyphs, which were not, the foundations for deciphering this lost language were laid. The task fell to Thomas Young, an English polymath whose wide-ranging interests spanned from physics to languages. Young made significant strides in deciphering the hieroglyphs, particularly the phonetic characters, yet it was the genius of Jean-François Champollion that ultimately unlocked the full meaning of the stone. In 1822, after years of meticulous study, Champollion proclaimed that he had cracked the code. He demonstrated that the hieroglyphs were not just symbols representing ideas but were also phonetic, much like the letters in our own alphabet. This revelation revolutionized the field of Egyptology and opened the floodgates to a wealth of knowledge about ancient Egyptian culture, religion, and daily life. Champollion's triumph was not merely an academic achievement, it was a resurrection of voices long silenced by the passage of time. The deciphering of hieroglyphs allowed scholars to read inscriptions that chronicled the lives of pharaohs, monumental events, and the very beliefs that shaped Egyptian society. Pyramids and temples, previously inscrutable, transformed into the pages of history, revealing the grandeur of a civilization that had flourished along the banks of the Nile for millennia. The Rosetta Stone, therefore, was not just a relic of the past, it became a bridge, linking two worlds divided by centuries. As the echoes of ancient Egyptian voices began to resonate through the deciphered texts, they painted a vivid picture of a society rich in art, science, and spirituality. The stone illuminated the ways in which the Egyptians viewed their world, their gods, and their place in the cosmos. It unveiled the intricate relationships between the pharaohs and their subjects, the rituals that governed their lives, and the profound significance they placed on the afterlife. The words inscribed on the stone were more than mere declarations, they were the embodiment of a culture that revered knowledge, order, and the divine. Moreover, the Rosetta Stone sparked a burgeoning interest in Egyptology as a discipline. Armed with new tools for understanding hieroglyphs, scholars from various backgrounds flocked to the study of ancient Egypt, eager to uncover the mysteries that lay buried beneath the sands. This period saw a rush of excavations, translations, and explorations, as the allure of Egypt captured the imaginations of many. The quest for knowledge became a collective endeavor, leading to significant discoveries, including the tomb of Tutankhamun in 1922 and the temples of Karnak and Luxor. Each revelation added another layer to our understanding of a civilization that was at once familiar and astonishingly foreign. Yet, the legacy of the Rosetta Stone extends beyond academia. Its impact resonates in art, literature, and popular culture, permeating the modern world in ways that continue to fascinate. The stone itself has become a symbol of cultural heritage and the quest for understanding. It invites us to reflect on the significance of language as a tool for connection, a means to bridge the gaps between cultures and eras. Even today, the Rosetta Stone resides in the British Museum, drawing millions of visitors each year who come to witness the artifact that forever changed our perception of the past. In an era when understanding across cultures is more critical than ever, the lessons learned from the Rosetta Stone serve as a reminder of the power of knowledge. It teaches us that every civilization, regardless of its time or place, has a narrative worthy of exploration. The hieroglyphs that once seemed impenetrable now encourage us to seek out the stories of those who came before, to listen to the echoes of their experiences, and to honor their contributions to the tapestry of human history. The Rosetta Stone is not simply a key to the past, it symbolizes humanity's enduring quest for understanding and connection. It challenges us to look beyond the surface, to delve deeper into the stories that shape our identities and our worldviews. As we continue to decipher the legacies of ancient Egypt, we are reminded that history is not a distant echo but a living dialogue that informs our present and shapes our future. The journeys embarked upon by those who sought to understand the hieroglyphs illuminate not just the past but also our responsibility to preserve and celebrate the rich tapestry of human civilization. With the discovery of the Rosetta Stone, the stage was set for a scholarly revolution. Egyptology, a term coined in the early 19th century, began to take form as a distinct field of study, forever altering our understanding of an ancient civilization that had long fascinated the world. The stone, inscribed with the same text in Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphs, became the key that unlocked the mysteries of a culture that had languished in obscurity for centuries. In 1822, the French scholar Jean-François Champollion, inspired by his passion for languages and the intricacies of deciphering ancient scripts, made a groundbreaking leap. After years of meticulous study, he announced to the world that he had deciphered hieroglyphs, revealing their phonetic nature and the depth of meaning they encapsulated. This monumental achievement was more than just a triumph of linguistics, it was an awakening. Scholars, artists, and adventurers alike flocked to Egypt, eager to witness its treasures firsthand and to contribute to a burgeoning field that promised insights into humanity's distant past. As the 19th century progressed, Egyptology began to establish its formal identity, marked by a growing network of expeditions and academic societies. In 1858, the Egypt Exploration Fund was founded in London, dedicated to the systematic exploration of Egypt's ancient sites. This organization spearheaded many excavations, unearthing artifacts that would forever change our understanding of the pharaohs and their people. The hieroglyphs that had once seemed indecipherable now poured forth stories of gods, daily life, and monumental achievements, each discovery weaving threads into the intricate fabric of history. The contributions of pioneering Egyptologists like Auguste Mariette and Howard Carter were crucial in laying the foundation of the discipline. Mariette's work in the mid-19th century, including the establishment of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, created a central repository for the vast array of artifacts being unearthed. Meanwhile, Carter's discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun in 1922 became a sensational moment in the field, igniting a global fascination with ancient Egypt. As treasures were revealed, from the golden mask of the young pharaoh to the intricately adorned sarcophagi, they captured the imagination of the public and scholars alike, reaffirming the importance of Egypt in the narrative of human achievement. The rise of Egyptology was not merely about unearthing artifacts or decoding scripts. It was intertwined with broader trends in archaeology and anthropology, as scholars sought to understand not only what the Egyptians created but why they created it. The study of ancient Egypt blossomed into an interdisciplinary pursuit, blending history, art, architecture, and religion. Scholars began to explore the socio-political structures of the pharaonic society, the significance of mythology and religious beliefs, and even the daily lives of ordinary Egyptians. In the wake of this academic fervor, Egyptology also faced ethical questions and challenges. The fascination with ancient artifacts led to rampant looting and the illicit trafficking of antiquities. The race to collect treasures for museums often overshadowed the importance of their context, leading to debates on how best to preserve these remnants of a bygone era. The field was thus called upon not only to enlighten but also to safeguard the very heritage it sought to understand. As the 20th century unfolded, Egyptology expanded its horizons even further. The establishment of more formal academic programs and the integration of technology into research transformed the discipline. Radiocarbon dating, satellite imagery, and modern excavation techniques allowed scholars to gain new insights into ancient practices and timelines. The field was no longer limited to traditional archaeology but embraced aspects of environmental studies, genetics, and even the digital humanities, opening avenues for collaboration across disciplines. In the modern context, the impact of Egyptology has transcended the academic realm. It has influenced literature, film, and art, permeating popular culture and inspiring countless adaptations and interpretations of ancient Egyptian themes. From the sweeping epics of Hollywood to the rich narratives of novels and graphic novels, the allure of ancient Egypt remains a potent force in storytelling. This cultural resonance showcases not only the beauty and mystery of the civilization but also its enduring relevance in a rapidly changing world. Today, the study of ancient Egypt is a global endeavor. Scholars from diverse backgrounds contribute to the collective understanding of the civilization, enriching it with perspectives that challenge traditional narratives. As the field continues to evolve, it grapples with the complexities of colonial legacy and the need for inclusive practices that honor the voices of modern Egyptians and their views on their rich heritage. In this landscape, Egyptology serves as a reminder of the importance of understanding history as a dynamic interplay between past and present. It invites us to engage with the legacies left behind, urging a deeper reflection on our own identities and cultures. As we explore the intricate layers of ancient Egypt, we are not only uncovering the secrets of a civilization but also engaging in a dialogue that transcends time, challenging us to think critically about our own place in history. The discipline of Egyptology, born from a quest to decode hieroglyphs and uncover lost treasures, has transformed into a vital field that shapes how we comprehend not only the past but also our shared humanity. As we continue to delve into the sands of time, the echoes of ancient voices remind us that understanding history is an essential step on the path toward a more informed and compassionate future. The influence of ancient Egypt reverberates through the corridors of time, leaving imprints on the canvases of art and the pages of literature. As Romantic poets gazed upon the remnants of pyramids and temples, they felt a magnetic pull to the mystique of a civilization long past. They found inspiration in the grandeur of the Nile and the enigma that surrounded its gods and pharaohs. This fascination birthed a genre that combined wonder with melancholy, leading to works that captured not just the aesthetic beauty of ancient Egypt but also its spiritual and existential dilemmas. Take, for instance, the poetry of Percy Bysshe Shelley. His piece, Ozymandias, reflects on the inevitable decay of all leaders and empires, using the figure of Ramses II as a potent symbol. The poem opens with a traveler's tale of a crumbling statue in a vast wasteland, a stark reminder of the transience of power and glory. Shelley's verses evoke the powerful imagery of Egyptian monuments, but they also serve as a cautionary tale about hubris and the fleeting nature of human achievement. Here, Egypt is not merely a backdrop, it becomes a lens through which we examine our own nature and the legacies we leave behind. This motif of decay and longing recurred throughout the 19th century as artists and writers explored the allure of ancient Egypt. The fascination extended to visual art, where painters like Jean-Léon Gérôme captured the exotic beauty of Egyptian scenes, portraying everything from bustling markets to solemn rituals. Gérôme's works, filled with vibrant colors and meticulous details, evoke a sense of grandeur and mystique that transports viewers to another time and place. They are not mere representations, they are invitations to engage with the cultural tapestry of a civilization that has captivated imaginations for centuries. As the 20th century dawned, the fascination with ancient Egypt evolved, intersecting with the burgeoning fields of archaeology and anthropology. Figures like Howard Carter, who unearthed the treasures of Tutankhamun, sparked a worldwide obsession. Suddenly, the tombs and artifacts became symbols of a deeper understanding of humanity itself. This excitement permeated the arts, inspiring writers such as Agatha Christie, whose mystery novel Death on the Nile intricately weaves a story that not only pays homage to the landscape of Egypt but also exploits its mystique for suspense and intrigue. Egypt in her narrative is alive, a character that shapes the destinies of those who wander its banks. In cinema, the echoes of Egypt have been equally profound. Films like The Ten Commandments and Cleopatra draw upon the grandeur of ancient narratives, creating larger-than-life portrayals that simultaneously entertain and educate audiences about this magnificent civilization. Cinematic interpretations of Egyptian themes often amplify the drama and spectacle of its history, yet they also reflect contemporary society's own struggles with power, faith, and morality. The pharaohs, gods, and monumental architecture serve as both a canvas and a mirror, allowing audiences to explore timeless themes of love, betrayal, and ambition. Yet, the allure of ancient Egypt has not been without its complexities. The romanticization of this civilization can lead to a skewed understanding, where the realities of ancient lives are overshadowed by myth and fantasy. Modern interpretations often grapple with these intricacies, seeking to balance reverence for the past with an awareness of the implications of cultural appropriation. As we navigate these narratives, it becomes crucial to approach the legacy of Egypt with both awe and critical reflection, recognizing that their stories are not mere relics but living dialogues that continue to inform who we are today. The impact of ancient Egyptian themes extends beyond literature and art, influencing music, dance, and even fashion. The rhythmic cadences of contemporary music can evoke the spiritual essence of ancient rituals, while fashion designers draw on the elegance of Egyptian motifs to create garments that pay homage to the past. This fusion of ancient and modern creates a vibrant tapestry, showcasing how the legacies of Egypt continue to inspire creativity and innovation. As we reflect on the cultural echoes of ancient Egypt, we recognize that these influences are not just historical artifacts, but rather vital threads woven into the fabric of human expression. They challenge us to ponder our own identities, our relationships with power, and our aspirations for the future. The stories and images of ancient Egypt remind us of our shared humanity, urging us to embrace the complexity of our legacies while celebrating the beauty of diversity. The endurance of Egypt's influence speaks to a universal longing to connect with something greater than ourselves. It is a testament to the human spirit's ability to transcend time and space, finding echoes of the past in the stories we tell and the art we create. As we continue to explore and interpret these ancient wonders, we participate in an ongoing dialogue, a quest for meaning that binds us across generations and cultures. Ultimately, the legacies of ancient Egypt challenge us to recognize that history is not just a series of events but a living, breathing narrative that shapes our understanding of who we are and who we aspire to be. As the sun rises over the horizon, casting golden rays upon the tranquil waters of the Nile, it becomes clear that this river is not merely a body of water, it is the lifeblood of Egypt, a source of sustenance that has cradled civilization for millennia. Flowing through the heart of the desert, the Nile has always been more than a geographical feature. It has been a nurturing force, a provider of fertile soil, and a vital artery for trade and communication. Its seasonal floods deposited rich silt along the banks, transforming arid lands into lush fields. This miraculous cycle of inundation and retreat allowed agriculture to flourish, giving rise to one of history's most remarkable civilizations. Long before the pyramids reached for the skies, the ancient Egyptians forged a deep connection with the Nile, their lives intricately woven into the rhythm of its currents. They relied on its waters for drinking, irrigation, and fishing, establishing settlement patterns that mirrored the river's meanderings. From the bustling markets in Thebes to the sacred temples lining its shores, the Nile was the lifeblood that sustained communities, fostering economic prosperity and cultural exchange. Even in contemporary Egypt, the Nile's significance remains profound. Stretching over 6,000 kilometers, its waters continue to nourish the population. In a country where the majority of the land is desert, the Nile is a precious resource, providing nearly all of the fresh water for agriculture, industry, and domestic use. The river remains a vital artery for trade. Modern cities like Cairo and Luxor thrive upon its banks, where boats glide across the surface, echoing the historical roots of ancient merchants and travelers. Today, the Nile also plays a crucial role in Egypt's identity. It is more than a source of sustenance, it embodies the spirit of resilience and continuity. The river has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the ebb and flow of cultures, and the unyielding passage of time. It is a symbol of life and fertility in a land often characterized by harsh conditions. Festivals celebrating the Nile abound, where people gather to honor its gifts, drawing on traditions that stretch back over 3,000 years. However, the Nile story is not without its challenges. As modern demands on water resources intensify, the delicate balance that has sustained Egypt for centuries is threatened. Population growth and industrialization put immense pressure on the river, leading to concerns about water quality and availability. The construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam upstream has sparked anxiety regarding the potential impact on Egypt's water supply. These contemporary issues echo the ancient Egyptians' own struggles with the unpredictable nature of the Nile. Just as they adapted to the river's whims, modern society must navigate the complexities of water management while honoring the legacy of this ancient lifeline. The Nile also serves as a canvas for contemporary artistic expression, continuing to inspire poets, painters, and musicians. Its banks are rich with stories waiting to be told, a reminder that history is an ever-evolving narrative. Artists draw not only from the river's beauty but also from its historical significance, crafting works that reflect both ancient and modern experiences. The songs of fishermen echo the chants of long ago laborious, while the vibrant murals on buildings evoke the hieroglyphs of ancient temples, linking past and present in a shared cultural heritage. Tourism, too, plays a pivotal role in connecting people to the Nile's legacy. Travelers from all corners of the globe flock to witness the splendor of the river and its surrounding wonders, from the Great Pyramids to the temples of Karnak and Luxor. This influx generates economic opportunities, but it also presents a double-edged sword, as the strain on local ecosystems and communities can lead to conflict. Striking a balance between honoring the ancient past and embracing the future is essential for preserving the Nile's gifts for generations to come. As we delve deeper into the river's significance, it is crucial to recognize its spiritual dimensions. The Nile was revered by the ancient Egyptians as a manifestation of the divine, a river teeming with life that connected them to their gods. Rituals and offerings were made to ensure the river's bounty, underscoring the bond between nature and spirituality. Today, this reverence continues, as communities celebrate the Nile through various cultural practices, echoing the profound respect their ancestors held for this life-giving force. The ongoing influence of the Nile reminds us that civilization is intertwined with the natural world. The river is a testament to the resilience of the Egyptian people, embodying their ability to adapt and thrive in the face of adversity. It stands as a reminder that the greatest legacies are not simply built on stone but are nourished by the waters that sustain life. The Nile story is one of continuity, of ancient traditions blending seamlessly with modern practices, crafting an enduring narrative that speaks to the power of nature in shaping human history. As we reflect on the profound connection between the Nile and Egyptian civilization, we are compelled to ask how we will honor such legacies. Will we protect this precious resource, ensuring its vitality for future generations? The answers lie in our collective responsibility, a commitment to stewardship that resonates through time, echoing the ancient wisdom of those who once called the Nile their lifeblood. As we transition from the echoes of ancient wisdom to the present day, modern Egypt stands as a guardian of its storied past, grappling with the weight of its heritage while navigating the challenges of contemporary development. The juxtaposition is striking, bustling cities pulse with life, while remnants of a glorious civilization lie just beneath the surface, waiting to be acknowledged and cherished. The streets of Cairo, teeming with energy, are only minutes away from the Giza plateau, where the Great Pyramid rises majestically against the skyline, a silent witness to the passage of millennia. Modern Egyptians possess a deep-seated pride in their ancient history, a sense of identity intimately tied to the monumental achievements of their ancestors. This connection manifests in daily life, as the symbols of ancient Egypt permeate culture, from the artistry of local crafts to the themes found in contemporary music and literature. Yet, this reverence for the past is met with the relentless pressures of urbanization and globalization. As Egypt strives to modernize, the preservation of its archaeological treasures often hangs in the balance, caught in the crosshairs of necessity and nostalgia. In cities like Cairo, where the ancient and modern coexist, the challenge becomes not just maintaining the integrity of historic sites, but also ensuring that the legacy of those sites continues to resonate with younger generations. The Egyptian government, aware of the cultural and economic importance of tourism, has taken steps to protect its heritage. Initiatives such as the restoration of ancient monuments and the establishment of museums aim to safeguard this legacy. The Grand Egyptian Museum, poised to open near the Giza pyramids, promises to be a crowning achievement, a space dedicated to the splendor of ancient Egypt, showcasing artifacts that have long been hidden from public view. However, the realities of development often complicate these noble intentions. Urban expansion threatens archaeological sites, and the rapid growth of infrastructure can sometimes overshadow the very history that draws millions of tourists to the country. The construction of new roads, buildings, and commercial developments can lead to the unearthing of artifacts, yet all too often, these discoveries are met with a lack of immediate preservation measures. Developers may prioritize economic gain over historical significance, resulting in a race against time to rescue valuable remnants of the past before they vanish beneath concrete. The challenge of preservation is further complicated by the socio-political landscape of Egypt. Political instability and economic fluctuations have led to periods of neglect, during which many sites have suffered from inadequate funding and oversight. The 2011 revolution, while a pivotal moment for modern Egypt, diverted attention away from cultural preservation, leaving some sites vulnerable. Despite these daunting challenges, a resurgence of interest in Egypt's heritage has emerged in recent years. Local communities, scholars, and activists have come together to advocate for the protection of archaeological sites, underscoring a collective desire to ensure that Egypt's history is not merely a relic of the past but a vibrant part of the nation's identity. Grassroots movements have emerged, driven by passionate individuals who recognize that preserving ancient sites is not just an academic endeavor, but a vital thread in the fabric of their society. Initiatives aimed at raising awareness about the importance of cultural heritage seek to engage citizens, particularly the youth, in appreciating and protecting their shared history. Through education and community involvement, these efforts highlight the significance of ancient Egypt's contributions to human civilization, fostering a sense of ownership and responsibility among modern Egyptians. Meanwhile, international partnerships have become an essential factor in preservation efforts. Collaborations with foreign archaeologists and preservationists have brought expertise and resources that are invaluable to the restoration of ancient sites. These relationships help bridge the gap between the local understanding of history and global perspectives, enriching the narrative of Egypt's past while ensuring that its treasures continue to inspire awe and respect. As Egypt grapples with its heritage, the role of modern technology cannot be overlooked. Advances in digital documentation and preservation techniques are helping to safeguard artifacts and sites like never before. Virtual reality experiences and digital archives allow cultural heritage to reach a global audience, creating a renewed interest in Egypt's ancient wonders. These innovations hold the potential not only to educate but also to invite the world to participate in the ongoing story of Egypt, fostering a deeper connection to its ancient civilization. Yet, the conversation around preservation must also include the voices of those most affected by development. Urban Egyptians, especially in areas adjacent to archaeological sites, often find themselves in a tug-of-war between progress and preservation. Their stories illuminate the complexities of this cultural landscape, reminding us that the legacies of stone are not just monuments to be admired, but are intertwined with the livelihoods and aspirations of the people who inhabit this land. As we reflect on modern Egypt as the guardian of its past, we recognize the enduring influence of ancient traditions and the modern-day commitment to their preservation. The ancient structures, the stories they tell, and the lessons they impart are invaluable treasures that echo through time, inviting all of humanity to remember where we came from and to honor the remarkable journey that continues to unfold. The future of Egypt's ancient wonders rests not only in the hands of archaeologists and historians, but also in the hearts and minds of its people, who strive to preserve their heritage while embracing the promise of tomorrow. The bustling streets of Cairo pulse with life, a vibrant tapestry woven from the threads of history and modernity. As the sun rises over the pyramids of Giza, tourists flock to the ancient stones, drawn by the allure of one of humanity's oldest civilizations. Yet, as visitors from around the globe converge on these timeless monuments, a complex narrative unfolds, a tale of economic opportunity intertwined with pressing concerns for preservation. Tourism in Egypt has long been a double-edged sword, cutting both ways as it brings prosperity and poses significant threats to the very treasures that entice visitors. The revenue generated by tourism is a lifeline for the Egyptian economy, creating jobs and stimulating development in a nation where many still rely on the income generated from this influx of travelers. In the shadow of the Great Sphinx, vendors hawk souvenirs, guides share ancient tales, and restaurants serve traditional cuisine, all of which thrive in the wake of tourism. In 2019 alone, Egypt welcomed over 13 million tourists, an influx that contributed about 12% to the country's GDP and offered hope for a brighter future after years of political unrest. However, this economic boon comes at a steep price. The sheer volume of visitors threatens the integrity of these ancient sites. The pyramids, once the proud sentinels of the past, are now marred by the relentless impact of foot traffic, pollution, and the very infrastructure designed to accommodate tourists. In the Valley of the Kings, where the tombs of pharaohs lie, the delicate artwork painted on the walls suffers from the humidity and the breaths of thousands. Conservators and archaeologists face the daunting task of balancing access with preservation, ensuring that these wonders endure for future generations. The Egyptian government has recognized the urgent need for sustainable tourism practices, yet the challenge remains monumental. In an effort to preserve the past while embracing the present, initiatives have been launched to limit visitor numbers at sensitive sites and promote lesser-known archaeological treasures. Remote temples and hidden tombs await discovery, offering an opportunity to experience Egypt's rich history without overwhelming the most celebrated landmarks. Yet the allure of the well-trodden path remains powerful. Iconic sites like Luxor and the temples of Karnak draw crowds, capturing the imagination of those who stand in their shadow. As they gaze at the hieroglyphs etched in stone, tourists are transported to a time when gods walked among men. But with this awe comes an inevitable consequence: the infrastructure struggles to keep pace. Facilities that cater to the needs of modern tourism, hotels, restaurants, and transportation, can disrupt the landscape, altering the very essence of the places they aim to celebrate. The stories that these stones tell are not merely historical artifacts, they embody the soul of Egypt itself. The ancient Egyptians believed that their connection to the divine extended through their monuments, and as tourists traverse these sacred grounds, they tread upon the dreams and aspirations of a civilization that flourished thousands of years ago. The challenge lies in striking a balance, ensuring that the reverence for these sites is upheld even amidst the hustle of modern tourism. Efforts to cultivate a deeper appreciation for Egypt's heritage are underway, fostering an understanding that transcends the typical tourist experience. Educational programs designed to immerse visitors in the rich tapestry of Egyptian culture encourage a more respectful engagement with the sites. Workshops, guided tours led by knowledgeable historians, and community involvement promote sustainable practices that honor the past while nurturing the present. Yet, the road to sustainability is fraught with obstacles. Political instability, economic fluctuations, and global events, like the COVID-19 pandemic, have all impacted tourism, leaving Egypt's cherished sites vulnerable. As the world slowly reopens, it remains crucial to prioritize responsible tourism that values both the visitor experience and the preservation of these ancient wonders. The relationship between tourism and heritage must evolve, allowing Egypt's rich history to inspire or without sacrificing the integrity of its monuments. This balancing act is not just an Egyptian concern, it echoes throughout the globe. As other nations grapple with similar issues, Egypt serves as both a cautionary tale and a beacon of hope. The lessons learned from its ancient wonders ripple across borders, reminding us that the past is not merely a backdrop but a living part of our shared human experience. As we navigate the complexities of tourism and heritage preservation, we must remain vigilant stewards of our cultural legacies. Each visit to these remarkable sites is an opportunity to honor the craftsmanship and vision of those who came before us, ensuring that their stories continue to resonate through the ages. By embracing a more mindful approach to tourism, we can help protect the legacy of the ancients while allowing the vibrancy of contemporary Egypt to shine. In this ongoing journey, the echoes of eternity linger, urging us to tread carefully among the stones of time. With each step taken in the sands of Egypt, we are reminded that the past is not a distant memory but a foundation upon which the future stands. The double-edged sword of tourism can become a tool for preservation, ensuring that the legacies of stone continue to inspire wonder, respect, and reverence for generations to come. As we traverse the vast expanse of ancient Egypt, we uncover lessons embedded in the very fabric of its monumental legacies. The achievements of this remarkable civilization resonate deeply with our contemporary struggles and aspirations. At the heart of these lessons lies resilience, the unwavering spirit that propelled the ancient Egyptians to overcome challenges and innovate in the face of adversity. Their ability to harness the resources of the Nile and transform a barren landscape into a flourishing society is a testament to their ingenuity. In an era characterized by shifting climates and harsh conditions, they engineered irrigation systems that not only fed their people but also nurtured a culture that thrived on agriculture, art, and architecture. Consider the pyramids of Giza, standing tall against the backdrop of the Egyptian horizon. These colossal structures are more than mere tombs, they symbolize the persistence of human ambition. The architects and laborers who toiled to construct these masterpieces faced significant hardships, yet they forged ahead with a shared vision of immortality. This dedication teaches us that greatness is often born from collaboration and communal effort. In our own lives, we can draw inspiration from the collective determination that built these wonders. Whether in business, community projects, or personal endeavors, resilience thrives when individuals unite under a common goal, pushing the limits of what is possible. The philosophies of ancient Egypt further offer profound insights into the human experience. Central to their worldview was the concept of ma'at, representing harmony, balance, and order. This fundamental principle governed not only their spiritual beliefs but also their societal structure. The ancient Egyptians understood that stability arose from maintaining equilibrium within themselves and their environment. As we grapple with the complexities of modern life, the teachings of Ma'at remind us of the importance of balance between work and leisure, innovation and tradition, and personal ambition and communal responsibility. Embracing this holistic approach can guide us toward a more fulfilling existence, one that honors both our aspirations and our connections with others. Innovation was another pillar of ancient Egyptian society. The civilization was marked by groundbreaking advancements in various fields, from medicine to mathematics. The ancient Egyptians were pioneers in the study of the human body, employing surgical techniques that would not be rivaled for centuries. This spirit of inquiry and experimentation teaches us that progress requires an openness to new ideas and a willingness to learn from failures. In an age where technological advancements shape our reality daily, fostering a culture of innovation is more crucial than ever. We must embrace curiosity and experimentation, encouraging the exploration of uncharted territories in our personal and professional lives. The artistic achievements of ancient Egypt also carry timeless lessons. The vibrant murals, intricate carvings, and monumental sculptures not only served decorative purposes but also conveyed profound spiritual and cultural narratives. This integration of art and purpose underscores the significance of storytelling in shaping human identity. In a world increasingly dominated by digital communication, the power of storytelling remains a vital tool for connection and understanding. Just as the ancient Egyptians used art to reflect their beliefs, we too can harness creative expression to bridge divides and foster empathy in our diverse societies. Equally important is the role of women in ancient Egypt, who often wielded significant influence in both the domestic and public spheres. Figures like Hatshepsut and Cleopatra exemplify the leadership and agency that women could achieve in a male-dominated society. Their stories remind us that equity and inclusion are not just modern ideals but have roots in ancient practices. As we navigate the complexities of contemporary gender dynamics, the legacies of powerful women in Egypt compel us to challenge societal norms and champion the voices of all individuals, regardless of gender. The enduring influence of the Nile, the lifeblood of ancient Egyptian civilization, serves as a powerful metaphor for the connections that bind us. Just as the river nourished the land and fostered growth, our relationships with each other and our environment sustain our existence. The ancient Egyptians revered the Nile not only as a source of sustenance but also as a divine entity. This profound respect for nature reminds us to cultivate our connection with the world around us, recognizing that our well-being is intricately linked to the health of our planet. In an age where environmental challenges loom large, the lessons from Egypt's past compel us to champion sustainable practices that honor the earth and future generations. As we reflect on the legacies of stone, we see that they are not simply remnants of a bygone era but living lessons that continue to shape our understanding of resilience, innovation, and community. The ancient Egyptians left behind a blueprint for navigating the complexities of life, one that emphasizes harmony, creativity, and the enduring power of human spirit. By adopting these principles, we can chart a course through the challenges we face today, drawing strength from the past while boldly forging a path into the future. Their stones echo with wisdom, reminding us that the foundation we build today will resonate through time, influencing generations yet to come, and ensuring that the lessons of ancient Egypt remain a guiding light for humanity. As we sift through the sands of time, the future of Egypt's ancient wonders looms on the horizon, shrouded in both promise and uncertainty. The unearthing of archaeological treasures continues to captivate imaginations, while the preservation of these historical relics becomes an urgent mission. The narrative of Egypt's past does not merely end with the tales of pharaohs and pyramids, it evolves as each new discovery adds layers to our understanding and appreciation of this remarkable civilization. In the heart of the Nile Valley, innovative technologies are reshaping archaeological practices. Ground-penetrating radar and drones equipped with high-definition cameras are revolutionizing the way we explore this ancient landscape. These technological advancements allow archaeologists to map sites with incredible precision, unveiling hidden tombs and temples without disturbing the fragile earth above. In 2020, the discovery of a wealth of ancient artifacts near Luxor captivated the world, with over 27 burial sites unveiled, offering a new glimpse into the daily lives of the ancient Egyptians. Such findings remind us that the sands of Egypt still hold secrets waiting to be revealed. Yet, with each new discovery comes the pressing need for conservation. The delicate balance between exploration and preservation is at the forefront of discussions among historians, archaeologists, and preservationists. The ancient monuments, while enduring symbols of human achievement, are increasingly threatened by environmental factors and urban development. The rising waters of the Nile, pollution, and the relentless march of modernization pose significant challenges to these iconic structures. The Great Pyramid of Giza, once a shining beacon against the desert sky, now faces the consequences of time and human activity. It is imperative that we establish robust conservation measures to protect these legacies from the ravages of nature and neglect. International collaboration plays a crucial role in the safeguarding of Egypt's heritage. Partnerships between Egyptian authorities, global institutions, and universities foster research and provide much-needed funding for conservation projects. The establishment of the Grand Egyptian Museum, set to open in Cairo, promises to not only house thousands of artifacts, including treasures from Tutankhamun's tomb, but also to serve as a center for research and preservation. This ambitious project reflects a commitment to not just display the wonders of ancient Egypt, but to ensure their longevity for future generations to appreciate. However, as we look ahead, we must also confront the reality of tourism's impact on these fragile sites. The allure of the pyramids and the temples of Karnak draws millions of visitors each year, generating vital revenue for the Egyptian economy. Yet, the flood of tourists can also lead to wear and tear on these ancient structures. Balancing economic benefits with the need to protect these sites is a complex challenge. Initiatives focusing on sustainable tourism offer a way forward, encouraging responsible travel while educating visitors on the importance of preservation. Guided tours and informational displays can inspire a deeper appreciation for the cultural significance of these wonders, creating stewards who will advocate for their protection. Moreover, the role of local communities in the preservation of Egypt's ancient wonders cannot be overstated. Engaging with those who live in the shadow of these monuments fosters a sense of ownership and responsibility towards their heritage. Community-led initiatives can bridge the gap between conservation efforts and the everyday lives of locals, ensuring that the benefits of tourism are felt widely. The stories and traditions passed down through generations contribute rich narratives that enhance the visitor experience, transforming casual tourists into passionate advocates for ancient Egypt. As we venture further into the future, the field of Egyptology is poised for transformation. The integration of interdisciplinary approaches, combining archaeology with anthropology, history, and even the natural sciences, opens exciting avenues for understanding the complexities of ancient Egyptian civilization. The rise of public interest in renewed exploration of the ancient world has sparked educational movements that aim to demystify Egyptology, making it more accessible to the general public. This democratization of knowledge invites a wider audience to engage with and appreciate the legacies of stone that have shaped humanity. The future of Egypt's ancient wonders also rests on the global stage. In an era where cultural heritage is increasingly threatened by conflict and climate change, Egypt stands as a testament to the enduring power of civilization. The preservation of its treasures not only serves as a reminder of our shared human history but also offers lessons on resilience and adaptability. As we confront global challenges, the wisdom of ancient Egypt can inspire contemporary solutions, guiding us toward a sustainable future. In the coming decades, the world will continue to bear witness to the resonance of Egypt's ancient wonders. With every archaeological discovery, every new conservation initiative, and every engagement with local communities, we weave a narrative that honors the past while forging new paths for the future. The stones of Egypt, steadfast and silent, will continue to tell their stories, urging us to listen, learn, and carry their lessons forward. The journey is far from over. As we stand at the crossroads of past and future, we must commit to protecting these legacies of stone, ensuring that they endure not only as relics of a bygone era but as dynamic symbols of hope, inspiration, and the unbreakable bond between humanity and its history. The echoes of ancient Egypt will resonate for generations to come, urging us to honor our shared heritage and strive for a world where the wonders of the past inform the dreams of tomorrow. As we reflect upon the awe-inspiring legacies of ancient Egypt, we uncover a tapestry woven with threads of innovation, spirituality, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. This remarkable civilization, emerging along the banks of the life-giving Nile, stands testament to the enduring power of human creativity and aspiration. From the monumental pyramids that scrape the skies to the intricate hieroglyphs that whisper tales of gods and pharaohs, ancient Egypt transcends time, inviting us to explore the depths of our own humanity. The towering structures of Giza remain not merely as ancient tombs but as powerful symbols of human ambition. Built over 4 millennia ago, the Great Pyramid of Khufu speaks of an era defined by extraordinary engineering and sheer will. Each stone, meticulously placed, serves as a reminder of the ingenuity of those who came before us. These monumental creations have stirred imaginations and inspired countless generations, shaping architectural marvels and movements around the world. As we stand before these remnants, we are reminded of our shared past and the universal quest for immortality that binds us all. But the influence of ancient Egypt extends far beyond its monumental architecture. It stretches into the realms of art, science, and philosophy, reaching towards the very fabric of modern civilization. Egyptian art, characterized by its vivid colors and symbolic narratives, has inspired masters from the Renaissance to contemporary creatives. The stylized representations of gods and humans convey not just a visual language but a philosophy of life, death, and everything in between. This artistic legacy continues to resonate, prompting new interpretations and dialogues in galleries and classrooms worldwide. Moreover, the Egyptians were pioneers in various scientific disciplines. Their advancements in medicine, mathematics, and astronomy established a foundation that our world still builds upon. The precise calendar they devised, synchronized with the annual flooding of the Nile, facilitated agricultural practices that sustained their civilization. Today, as we navigate complex global challenges, we can look to these ancient innovators for inspiration. Their ability to observe, adapt, and innovate reminds us that knowledge, like the flow of the Nile, must be harnessed to sustain life. Spirituality played a profound role in the Egyptian way of life, manifesting in their elaborate rituals and the pantheon of gods that governed every aspect of existence. The belief in an afterlife, encapsulated in the grandeur of tombs and the practice of mummification, reflects a deep-seated understanding of the human condition, our fears, hopes, and desires. This reverence for the spiritual and the quest for meaning continues to echo through religions and philosophies around the globe. Ancient Egypt teaches us that while our physical forms may fade, the quest for understanding our place in the universe endures. As we traverse the corridors of time, we cannot overlook the pivotal moments of rediscovery that have breathed new life into Egypt's ancient wonders. The fascination ignited by explorers and archaeologists in the 19th and 20th centuries has unleashed a wave of Egyptomania, fueling a hunger for knowledge and connection to this ancient heritage. The Rosetta Stone, discovered in 1799, stands as a monumental key, unlocking the language of hieroglyphs and catapulting our understanding of ancient texts. Through these efforts, we are reminded that history is not static, it is a living dialogue between the past and present, compelling us to engage with our roots. Yet, this enduring legacy comes with its complexities. The modern era grapples with the balance between preservation and tourism, where the treasures of ancient Egypt draw millions but also face threats from environmental changes and human impact. The guardians of the past are called upon to protect these invaluable sites, ensuring that future generations can experience the wonder and wisdom contained within the sands of time. Each step we take towards conservation is a step toward honoring not just the stone remnants left behind, but the vibrant culture that once flourished. As we stand at this crossroads, contemplating the future of ancient Egypt's wonders, we find ourselves in a unique position. The lessons embedded in its history urge us to cultivate a deeper appreciation for cultural heritage, to foster respect for diversity, and to recognize that our shared human experience is enriched by the stories and achievements of all civilizations. Let us carry forth the echoes of ancient Egypt, allowing them to inspire not just our art and architecture but our very way of thinking and being in the world. In the end, the legacies of ancient Egypt are not just relics of a distant past, they are vibrant threads in the fabric of human civilization. They remind us that while time may erode stone, it cannot diminish the impact of ideas, creativity, and the quest for understanding. The echoes of eternity resonate within us all, urging us to explore, to dream, and to connect with the past as we forge a future filled with possibility. As we honor the achievements of those who came before us, let us also strive to leave our own lasting legacies, ensuring that the wonders of our time will inspire generations yet to come.